Okay, thank you very much. It was really interesting. My question is, in your tests, you didn't consider the condition of the plane. For example, when it is raining, it is snow, or something like that. What do you think that will be effect to your results?
Yeah. Good question, very good question. This research was carried out on kind of ideal surface. And what we know from natural grass is that there are huge differences: snowy, frozen, hard, soft, wet surface. I think normally weather conditions would affect the surface properties, and detailed analysis with controlled irrigation is necessary in order to find out about that. We have done one very limited pilot study on 5 subjects where we did this for running performance. So we compared the running performance of subjects on dry, ideal, artificial turf, and then we put water on the surface on a controlled manner, and then we let them run through this parcours again. And we did that only with 5 subjects. For those 5 subjects, no differences were observed. That means well, there is an indication that artificial turf might be better to cope with heavy rain than natural surface. It sounds to be reasonable. As well with the drainage system, water is able to trickle down and go away from the surface more easily than on the natural grass. However, this is with caution. It's a 5 subject studies. We did not go into detail.
Okay. Yep. Oh, that's all right, I won't. It's not just for you, Thorsten, it's the 3 speakers. Have you at all looked at, so you've looked at your mediolateral translation, have you done any of the, looking at the foot rotating about a vertical axis?
Good question. We did not, actually. When you might have noted that we showed data for the mediolateral to the vertical. Actually, you would assume to go with the what you call it, with the summarized, no, with the summed horizontal, even taking care of the anterior posterior. We were not able to come up with that because we lost this channel during measurements, which we find out later. But so I'm happy to give this question to Mark and Hiro. Maybe Mark? You have some knowledge of what happens to the rotation in the vertical. So.
Me too. Not yet, sorry. Yep.
Thorsten, thank you for a very clear and good presentation. I would just put a question to the 3 of you. The concept of having increased ankle turn moments or having increased supination, is that something that is related to injuries? Is it really? Is it a concept that we can rely on, or is it just something that you go the risk because you want to perform and you have an increased ankle moment because you want to perform? Yeah. So the question really is there anything out there in the literature that relates increased ankle turn moments, for example, to higher supination injuries?
The concept you propose, I think, is that so if you trust your boot a little more, you are more brave, so to say, in order to use the full range that your anatomy is allowing you. And I can buy that. I can buy that argument. There is one thing that needs to be mentioned. In order to have an ankle sprain, a supination trauma, so you need to have the certain limit. So if you have less, then you are at lesser risk to get this injury. This is one thing. On the other hand, I don't think there is something out in the literature really relating that. So the study, I think, that you proposed, and I think we might go for that, is we should try to create a boot interface condition that comes up, as we pointed out here, with different supination angles, and try then to measure actual performance time. And then we need to relate whether higher supination angles or lower supination angles are correlated with higher or lower running speed. And this, I think this would be the research to solve this question. So right now I'm not aware of any literature that answers it. But
yeah, I mean, I think Thorsten's correct that if you are approaching the limits of what you've got available, then you're in a more unfavorable posture. So that's likely to be bad. And certainly the ranges that we saw are in that ballpark. Also, if you've got rapid stretching of the ligaments, that's also likely to be bad. We don't know anything for certain in terms of injuries on humans, but in terms of unfavorable tissue changes in animals, the faster rate of loading leads to the most unfavorable changes in tissue. So now, how fast are those rates? They're pretty quick. They're probably in the region where it's getting a bit too quick, but I'm not sure. I think another factor is the expectation of the grip. I think if you suddenly move an inch or two more than you expect, and you get that unexpected supination, then that's another added factor. And I think we've got evidence of that in our data, where there's a lot more variability, a lot more changes with the football turf data within a subject.
Okay, thank you, Mark. Good comment. So, no more questions? Yep, Neil.
Hi guys, just one quick question. I don't know whether you got the data sort of available at the moment. Do you have any height of ankle joint measurements? Because looking at the three sets of footwear you checked there, obviously there's penetration differences between the stud lengths, which could alter your moment lever arm around the ankle. Yeah.
Well, what you're referring to is the stud length, basically.
No, actually, as a result of the stud length, do you have any values of the ankle height above the surface? Because that could obviously affect you.
What we use in our footwear research, so to say, is we try to come up with almost similar shoe uppers so that they are as similar as we could get them. But we also measured the stud length, and the soft ground stud length is the longest, and the firm ground is shorter than the soft ground, and artificial or hard ground is the shortest. And this, what you would need to look at, how deep the studs penetrate into the surface.
Yeah, this is what I was trying to estimate, that perhaps your ankle joint vertical height might give you an impression of that value.
We did not come up with measurements for the actual outcome of it. So, but it brings me up to another thought, and so we have this long pile artificial turf that Hero in a way introduces, and this might be a very interesting combination to play around. So with stud length in combination to the surface characteristics, and to find out the optimal interactive device then, in order to reduce injury risk, but also to have high performance. We do not have the data for that study.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, we almost run out of time. So it's about time to conclude the session. So we had a delayed start, but yeah, we spent almost 2 hours. That was really planned time we spent out. So thank you very much for your attention. Then please, thanks again for the speakers. Thank you very much.